Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of the League of Amazing Adventurers here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. You know Matthew is Garl and Nimbus is McKenna, Cooper as Lynx, and Abby who is Corellia, though Abby is away on illness right now. Now imagine that
Yes.
to the tune of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So it's like, you know Matthew as Garl and Nimbus as McKenna as Nimbus, Cooper as
That's so
Lynx.
funny that you did that twice, saying Nimbus is McKenna.
Yeah,
And
my
now I want to watch a
brain.
campaign where our Pathfinder characters play us in our day-to-day lives. I think
Oh
that would be
God.
I don't think
how
I
meta.
don't think Alessandra would be able to handle the emotional trauma. But that being said, a few
Gar
announcements
would
before
throw
we get
so much
started.
shade at me.
Here's what we got. Here's what we got for announcements. Programming schedule here on the channel. Lots of fun programming coming up for you, especially in the upcoming new year. So starting off on Saturday, New Year's Eve. Might do something fun. I don't know. We might just do Assault and Sorcery. We might do something a little bit different. McKenna sent me a really cool idea for New Year's Eve one shot, so I kind of want to do.
It was a Secret Santa thing originally, but I think it could work for New
I
Year's.
think it'd be a really fun New Year's thing to do, but I still have to
Yeah.
decide whether I want to do that or not. Then, on Sunday, I swear we will continue the Nuzlocke this week. I've just, Christmas and
Yeah, don't be streaming a Pokemon Nuzlocke on Christmas.
yeah. But this Sunday we will be continuing the Pokemon Nuzlocke. Monday, Strength of Thousands AP is back. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. So, does that mean, Will, you're not going to stream Pokemon for the rest of the year?
Yes, I'm not going to stream Pokemon for the
Wow.
rest of the year. But do you know what we are going to do in the new year? We are going to do Strength of Thousands AP as like the first tabletop stream. So Matt will GM that. You'll get to see Zoe, and
Oh,
you'll get to see Zoe. You'll get to see McKenna. You'll get to see me. You'll get to see Sarah. And that's it. Sorry, I'm just looking at my other announcement notes. We've done that. We've done that. Wednesday, League of Amazing Adventure continues. Um,
That's this one.
yeah,
We're
that's this
watching it
one.
right now.
We'll probably be done with the time skip stuff either this week or next week, and then we'll start the level 20 Lightfall section. Our party has to kill a god. How they will do it, well, that's going to be up to them, but we'll find out.
We'll see.
Then on January 6th, we start a new campaign. Our D&D 5e spell jamming campaign, Astral Calling.
spell jamming.
And yeah, I'm really excited for that. I got a whole bunch of new map assets, so I've gotten to make some cool new maps for us. I'm not going to murder an NPC the party is attached to within the first session.
What about an NPC we're not attached to?
I mean, people may die, but
Fun.
We can only hope.
But yeah, we got some really fun stuff. I'm still trying to figure out mechanics for one thing that I want to do for that. It might require me to send McKenna a prop. But if it does, there'll be rules with it. E.g., you would only be able to work on it during stream.
Oh, okay.
But
You have a deal.
yeah.
Send
So
me stuff.
you would only be able to work on it during stream. But speaking of working on things during stream, we, of course, are joined by our group of adventurers, our usual band of party members, minus Abby, who is unfortunately ill. They caught the holiday flu, as I like to call it.
That's certainly one word for it.
Yep. So we have someone who did not catch the holiday flu and only got marginally screwed over by flight delays, Matt, playing Garl tonight.
He's
Were
all
you
right.
flying?
I was flying, but I was not flying anywhere into the States, so I got to avoid all of that.
Yeah.
And so I am thankful for what little delays I had.
Mm-hmm.
How's Potionomics, Matt?
I haven't had time to sit down and play it yet.
Oh, sad.
Probably tomorrow, maybe.
We'll find out.
I'm still butthurt that they aren't available on Mac or Switch or anything I can play.
That's
No, now I'm
very
dying.
fair. Then, of course, we have and Matt's the person in charge of the overlays you see here on the channel, as well as the intros. I should really start saying that. Then we have McKenna, who's responsible for 99.8% of all of the lovely artwork you see here on this channel. You can also find them on TikTok at McKenna Ray Art. They've probably posted TikTok right before this. If you're a regular viewer and have seen our animated intro hundreds of times, go check out their TikTok during the intro. If you're not a regular viewer and new here, hi, give us a follow. It helps us out a lot. A frog will hop across the screen. And of course,
I didn't post anything new today.
Oh, well, go watch McKenna's last TikTok then. Give that one some
It's
love.
the holidays. I'm taking a break. Also, I don't have my wall with my little pretty lamp on it, so I don't want to mess up my feed.
But Cooper is also with us tonight. How you doing, Koopa? Cooper, our resident...
Don't want that answer.
Cooper, who has been truly a trooper through the holidays. Some might call them a Koopa troopa.
Literally, you're the only person who's ever called them that. And that's not even the first time you've made this joke.
That's that first thing you said, McKenna, is factually not true, but I
Do
respect
other people
you for
call
saying
you
that.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
are you kidding?
It's not just
Ever
me.
since I was a
How
literal
could they
child.
not? Yeah, how could they not?
It's not just me.
Especially with Nintendo World coming to Universal. That's
can't
all
wait.
anyone's going to call you.
Can't wait.
That's
My
going to
sincerest
be...
condolences.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Can't wait. It's gonna be so great. I'm so excited. Speaking of Nintendo World, I've only just remembered it now, but you and I need to plan the preview night. Because I work at
Preview
Universal
night.
Studios Hollywood, everybody.
Preview
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll discuss it later.
Cooper plays Lynx, an alchemist.
Hi.
The proof that the alchemist is actually good if you are competent at how you use it.
That's asking a lot.
I'm not.
Cooper, you're very competent. You're a very competent.
I measure
alchemist.
things, and that's kind of the only reason why I feel like I'm any good at this class, is because I measure things on the map.
Roll
Also, I have
20.
soup.
Soup.
Coop soup.
Good soup.
Delicious.
And lastly, but certainly not leastly, hi, I'm Will. I run the game, and I write for the game, and I also write for all the homebrew content here on the channel. I would say that eventually I'll put some of it out, but with the changes from the Open Gaming license coming out with D&D 1, that may not be possible for like non-Pathfinder content. I will be posting the Lord of Light stat block to Twitter after they beat him. But yeah, so those are all of our announcements. Those are all of our crazy things going on. Anyone else have anything they want to plug before we hit the intro?
I have a few things I want to plug, but I shouldn't do them here.
Well, that will get
Not
us
on
banned on
stream.
Twitch, so we're going to run to the intro. Last time on the League of Amazing Adventurers, Will pushes the right button and goes to the missing a person overlay and not the not missing a person overlay. We had our Christmas special. Matt ran a lovely little game for us. Garl and Cassandra had some fun on a boat. There was an eldritch monster. We killed Pathfinder Nazoth. We killed the Galter, as I was calling it. And we had a generally good time. What's wrong, Matt?
There's just a lot of interesting terminology thrown, like your headcanons of what things were called. And I am
That's how my brain processed it all.
Just due to the responses from Abby and McKenna, I am seriously considering trying to sit down and come up with that clue, that fake clue murder mystery for you guys to actually play through. No idea when we would actually do it, and how that would work in Pathfinder, how you would play a murder mystery that way, beyond just perception check.
There's a PFS scenario that actually is literally that. It happens in a bathhouse. Matt, you've played it.
Hot.
I ran it for you.
I mean, it was probably pretty hot. It was a bathhouse.
I ran it for you.
You were incredibly effective because the final boss was a poltergeist, and you were like, "Ha ha!"
Oh yeah, spirit instinct Garl.
Yeah,
I cut ghosts.
it worked out really well. But in the last time, and that was canon. That happened somewhere between year 2 and year 1 during the time skip. But last time in actual gameplay time, our party had a number of things happen to them. Number 1, they saved Malachor from Lavania, the obsessed young lady who was very much obsessed with Malachor and joined the Lord of Light's entourage and became a messenger. After
Poor
doing...
thing. I actually do feel a bit bad for her now.
Yeah, she's not evil because she's evil. She's just evil because of circumstance.
I mean, also she got fully brainwashed with like false memories implanted,
Yeah.
and like that's just gotta fuck with your head a little bit.
Just like Malachor.
Just like Malachor. That's why they bonded. And then of course
Your family.
Yeah.
after that, our party had some lovely fun times going about and meeting up with some old NPCs. Oh, Cooper's TA got kidnapped as well.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on with
There
that?
we go. That too. They
I raised him well. Everything's fine.
But
That's
in
my
all
little man.
seriousness, after that, they began checking on NPCs. They went to Calmia, and they revisited Abigail and Desna's Hope Orphanage. Abby started basically talking about how she's been seeing visions of the Plane of Death. They took them to the Plane of Death to meet with an old ally from Magdia's dead parents, who Nim felt responsible for the death of. And they were like, "Oh no, dear, don't you worry about a thing, eh?" Not actually. I really should have made them super
Like that.
Midwestern. That would have been great. But
Poor Naloy.
poor Naloy.
That poor sweet summer child.
But after that, Garl and Cassandra adopted Abby. And it's funny, Abby adopted Abby. LOL. But Garl and
Yeah.
Cassandra adopted Abigail. And I believe I believe Cassandra was planning on helping Abigail gain some semblance of control over her powers of death.
I don't think Garl was actually there.
She was there in spirit, at the very least.
Yeah, I think Garl stayed at that Muscle Girl bar after where Opie was working at.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks for Garl.
Just working up a sweat with other muscly women.
Muscly monster woman.
Even
Good for her.
better.
There's a snake lady who had like a really big sword. It was cool. But
Stop pushing my buttons, Will.
Or I would snap it.
I think that's everything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything now. I think those are like all the big moments that we hit.
I think so.
I think we'll pick up right from there because I believe Nimbus had a sort of encyclopedia Saint Alteria of NPCs she wanted to visit.
Ah, yes, the Encyclopedia Saint Alteria. Next
Ooh, nice.
on my list is an old friend, an obscure friend, a friend whose name I did not write down. I know them as the Namsla Green Dragon. I want to check in on that whole situation. Do you not remember who I'm talking about?
Give me a second. I have to madly look through
I want to state for the record that I did offer to tell Will exactly who I wanted to hunt down and like keep track of, and he said no. So
Mhm.
He likes being surprised.
I wanted the challenge and the surprise. The
And you got it.
Green
Got him.
dragons. Okay, so step 1 is finding Nomsla on the map, so that I can then click on the link I have that will take me to notes. Oh yes, the ancient green
Yes.
dragon, the plant dragon. It wasn't a green dragon.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I mean they are green.
It was a topiary dragon. It was a
It's
dragon.
a topiary dragon.
Yes, it was a topiary dragon. I was like, no, green dragon and Nomsla. Oh, maybe this. There we go.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Because he seemed to have like I don't know, they just seemed to have formed like a nice little co-op down there,
Yeah.
like a little commune. But now that Lutania has like a restructured government, how did that pan out? How are things doing down
Well,
there?
how would you like to go check it out? Do you want to just
Nim will go in person,
All right.
and Nim will go in person and bring whoever wants to come with her.
Who wants to go visit
That
the topiary
includes
dragon?
just me.
Just Nim.
You're a big girl. You're capable.
And Gwen and Alessandra are also welcome to come if they would like to.
Elisandra will accompany you. Gwen actually is going to talk with Lynx for a bit about something.
Oh.
Oh, she
Oh.
has business to attend
She has some
to.
business to attend to with Lynx. But we'll get to that momentarily. So Nim and Elisandra teleport back towards Namsla. And the city itself is largely unchanged. It appears as though the people have maintained this sort of very like natural, naturey city, like a lot more like buildings being built into trees and things.
Slay. Okay.
Very solar punk of them.
Yeah, they've basically like restructured to be like a little bit more towards like nature, and when you come in, about 5 seconds after you step foot on the ground, a small leshy pops out of the ground. It's like, "Hello, Lady Nimbus."
Hello, little one. Honestly, I've just sort of stepped in to see how things were going. I hadn't heard much about whether or not Namsla had rejoined the Greater Lutanian government or not. I just hadn't heard much about it, so I thought I'd step down and see what was going on for myself.
Yes, we have rejoined with Lutania as a whole, and you know we're just kind of living life. We're doing a lot more farming here now, which is nice. There was a lot of farmland destroyed. Believe it or not, a lot of the islands the Opal Empire had were largely farmland. So there was sort of a food crisis for a bit, but we've been working extra hard to keep that from rearing its ugly head in the world.
Oh, wonderful. Agriculture.
Yes, agriculture.
I mean, that has to have wonderful economic prospects for you as well.
Yes, we did have an issue with people buying tulips en masse for a bit, but we nipped that one in the bud.
Tulips?
Tulips. Nobles were looking
Whatever
to
for.
use them as a status symbol, and it almost turned into an economy, but we stopped that before it happened.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about it.
It'll cost you 4 tulips.
Ooh.
The
Are tulips the new doubloons?
as an out-of-character thing, the tulip economy is actually a thing that happened historically.
It was
Interesting.
amazing. People went
It was-
bankrupt with tulip bulbs.
It was very cool. If you want a fun read, look up the tulip economy. Look up tulip economy and learn about it. It's a really cool historical spot in the world.
Oh, that's interesting.
Extra History has some really good short videos on it if you want a quick.
I did
Summary.
not know that. I'll have to check those out. But yeah,
They're a lot of fun.
we've largely rejoined them. They start going through. We've actually created a number of, and you see a number of treants that basically are creating these structured or tiered farms. So basically, what they do is they have 6 treants that are supporting a structure, and on each level of the structure, they have their branches supporting a level of a garden, and then another branch just comes in and harvests the crops as they grow, and then another branch replants. It's actually a really efficient stacked farm.
Okay.
Mostly pumpkins and melons right now, but they've been working towards like getting like sugarcane and beetroot as well.
Oh. Well, that seems amazing.
Yeah. Say what you
I'm
will.
into this.
Say what you will about war, but it breeds innovation.
Well, I suppose that's true on some fronts, but you all seem to keep everything very peaceful. It's actually quite admirable, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's what we call Greenpeace. Uh, things are just kind of doing well here. We got a lot of farming exports. Agriculture is our main thing now. And yeah,
Fabulous.
anything in particular you want to see? We have farms. We have most of the people have actually become vegetarians just because of, like, how readily available vegetables are here. Like
Yeah,
meats, like, there's the odd person where allergic to peanuts that still needs like other forms of protein, but we can get them that.
that's wonderful. And what of the dragon that used to rule here?
Well, unfortunately, I've not actually had contact with them in some time. I sort of was given
Oh.
I'm a simple drone, Leshy. I was sort of given orders to wait underground until someone of status returned that they would recognize. And thusly, they hand you a little pod. Like a little, like, seed pod.
What is this?
It is a seed pod that I was told to hand you.
Okay. How? I don't have a very green thumb. How should I care for this? Where should I plant it? Does it need a certain level of humidity? The
think you could
pH of the
just-
soil? I don't.
I think you could just put it in soil and it would go. I think it's kind of magical.
Okay.
I don't particularly know much about gardening. I'm a simple messenger, Leshy.
Do you know about how much room it will take up if I plant it?
No idea.
Oh my. Okay.
It is like a seed that's like... Do I have an object that would be a good... Yeah.
Where's
Well,
your
and it's a
props? Well,
seed. It's a seed pod.
Yeah, it's like this big.
So are there multiple seeds inside?
It's one big seed pod. Yes, there would be. If you shake it, it
So
makes
should
like a
I-
little maraca sound.
So should I open the seed pod and plant them separately?
No, you would want to plant the full pod into the ground.
You're sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you're sure it doesn't matter what kind of climate?
No, I think it should be able to thrive in most climates.
All right. Okay then. I will find a spot for this. Thank you.
No worries. I'm just doing my job. I was literally made for it.
Oh. So what will you do now?
Continue to be a messenger. They start
Oh.
start walking up to someone. Do you need a message delivered? No? Alright. Do you need a message delivered? Alright.
Oh, how far do you send messages?
I mean, it depends. Where do you need to go?
I was thinking of sending a little letter to Brighthall, just for fun.
Okay, yeah. Where do you want me to go?
Is that too far?
No, it's fine. I can get there. Might take me a little bit of time.
Can you seek out Gwendolyn Buka
Sure.
and just give her this? Nim scribbles down, "I love you, XOXOXO, Nim," and hands it to
Slur.
him. Yeah.
Okay. And they just kind of put it into like their seed bit. And they
Their seed bit.
yeah, their seed flesh. Like they
Hmm.
peel a layer of their skin off, put the letter in, put it back, and go.
things I
Oh,
did
what
not
do I
expect
owe
to
you?
hear tonight.
I mean, I was made to deliver letters, and they go.
Do you not? Okay. What a wonderful world where people just do things with no request for compensation. Well,
Welcome to the
Good for him.
community. There's a large musical number of the people being like, "We work together to do these plant crops." Da da da. Yeah,
dooby 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 doo wop.
it's very very
Um,
Encanto.
Mm-hmm. Encanto.
Encanto? Better?
There we go.
Encanto. Encanto.
Encanto. Can I find like a little forest or something on the outskirts of Brighthall to plant that seed pod in?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. You plant it, and nothing immediately changes.
I water it immediately.
Nothing immediately changes.
Okay, I make a mental note of this place so that I can come back to it, and I continue to go about my business.
You just see Alessandra putting her like finger to her ear, and then she walks over to a tree and just like carves in private property and says,
Are we allowed to do that? We don't own any land here.
messenger owl, hands you notice.
What is this?
It's a note from Gwen. Nimbus, got the land you needed. Gwen.
Nice.
You silly goose. Uh, what a silly goose. I pocket the letter in my seed pod. And yeah, I guess I will give that time.
Yeah, you'll need time. But Cooper,
Hello.
Gwendolyn, this will be before all that interaction has happened, is going to bring you to a lovely, basically 3-story building. And
To
Gwen
jump off of?
just stands there. No, Lynx, well, I mean, I guess you could. You would probably survive. It's only 3 stories.
I don't want that.
I do not want this.
But in
We
all
hate
seriousness, I figured you may become a little bit cramped at the university. And I know that you do enjoy to tinker, so... and Gwen just hands you a set of keys.
Oh. For me? Oh. Okay.
Yes, now will be completely upfront. This is not my building that I am giving to you, nor did I purchase this building. This building was... Well, the keys for this building were sent to me via messenger. I believe it is Aranari's.
Hmm.
Okay.
Huh.
I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth, so nice.
Yes. And please do not tell Nimbus I had any contact with Aranari. I know how she dislikes him.
Who?
And perfect. This is why I like you, Lynx. You know how to keep things above board.
Right, yeah, above the board.
She just kind of like gives you a little hug. Do you want me to come in?
Sure. It's a
Crossbow.
good thing you don't have lie to me.
She just puts a crossbow bolt in and winds it up. All right. I'm ready whenever you are.
Wait, what? Cross? Huh?
Well, we don't. It's an R&R building. I'm not going to be too not careful, you know.
I understand.
Yeah. Do you head in?
Yeah, let's head in.
So as you open the door, the site in front of you is very interesting. So you know how when buildings are under construction, they're sort of like wire framed?
Yes.
So this one has that feel to it, except it has a number of, instead of its like wire framing being that, like the floors on each level are glass floors.
Okay.
So it allows you basically to see the entire building from inside of it. The area you're in right now, directly to your left, is a staircase that goes up to each of the different levels, and each level is basically a fully outfitted and fully functioning alchemical, arcane, and general laboratory.
Slay. Okay.
And just like floating in the middle of like the center of like the first floor, there is what appears to be like a wax sealed note that has like this like smiley face wax seal on it.
Okay, that's not creepy. I'll pick it up, I suppose.
Yes. And Lynx.
Hmm.
Upon picking it up, the letter opens up and appears to be a deed of sorts. Attached to it is a note. Lynx. I will not be needing this any longer. I currently have a spot set up to me somewhere else. However, if you would like, you may make use of this Demas yourself. And essentially, this is, I'm going to be giving Lynx a free Thaumaturge feat.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
Work.
Lynx,
Slay.
you've gotten the Thaumaturge's Demas feat. It's a level 12 Thaumaturge feat.
Okay.
Oh my.
Uh, Thaumaturge's Demas. Shadow players. That work? No, it did not.
Are you putting it in my character sheet for me?
I'm trying to, but it doesn't
Bless
appear to
you.
be letting me. I was also just trying to show you it first.
Mhm.
Show the players. There we go. So if you want to read that, Cooper, you can.
Will do.
This
Maybe
is Thaumaturge's Demens. I
Demens?
can't pronounce that word.
I
I don't know.
Demons is how I've been doing it, but I may be incorrect. It should be shown to the players.
I know this word. Demon.
Demon. Sounds French. You'd think I would understand that, but anyway. Cooper, if you want to read the feat for folks, you can.
You have claimed an area or location as your demon, granting you the ability to ward and protect it. When you select this feat, choose a demon, an area of no more than 2,000 square feet. You must legitimately own the area, or if it is a public area, you must lay claim to the area without anyone contesting it. Once you have chosen your demon, it's automatically protected by an arcane private sanctum spell with an unlimited duration, heightened to half your level, rounded up, and using your Thaumaturge class DC in place of a spell DC if necessary.
It'll use your Alchemist class DC.
Additionally, the demon is attended by 3 unseen custodians as a successful unseen custodian ritual in the APG, and 1 object in the area gains an elemental sentinel as a successful elemental sentinel ritual in Pathfinder Secrets of Magic.
And unfortunately, since Arnari set it up, the Elemental Sentinel is one that they created. So popping up from basically the ground, not without making a hole, but just kind of gliding up, is this like... Imagine like a toy teddy bear made from blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Says... Hello, Master Lynx. I shall be your attendant here.
Hello.
I am the elemental that will keep this place in check for you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
This is new to me. Hello.
Lord Arnari said that you may have questions or concerns. I know that you, from what I've been told, don't necessarily jive with magic all that well or effectively upon its first use, circa the airwalking incident. But I am, of course, here to help you with that, and also, and they'll point to the 3rd floor, there's a number of books up there, Lord Arnari had said that you began researching alchemical's use is for magical uses, and the ability to use alchemical concoctions to cheat spells, as they said. There's a number of books pertaining to research that Arnari had done about it up there, so hopefully those can help you as well.
Cheat. Is he angry?
They will be unavailable to contact you. One of the odd things of the area that Aranari has gone to, the new content in general, it makes contact between the different parts of the world very difficult. It's quite strange. But he has gone there to assist Lord Drevrin in building a settlement there.
You didn't answer my question.
I'm just a simple elemental.
He
can't read people's
is.
emotions.
Ah.
If that
Wow.
makes you feel good about yourself, I'm not going to stop you from believing it.
That's okay. You don't have to. It's okay. I'm quite happy. Wow, he thinks I cheated magic. Nice. Well, I hope we work well together.
I am looking forward to working with you.
Golly, what to do now?
Gwen's just like, alright, well, it doesn't look like anything in here will actively try to kill you, Lynx. So I'm going to go and continue getting the house set up. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking about giving you a room in our basement. Do you want anything in particular there?
I can't really think of anything,
Alright, then I will decorate it myself. And she just kind of nods and heads out.
Why? He'll say that to himself. He's not trying to get her attention, but basement. Lynx very confused with his own living quarters. Yeah, this shore is a place that exists in my little circle now.
Yep. So you now have access to that. So,
Mhm.
if you ever need to do research or something else there, you can do it here if you need.
Wig, that's true.
Let's jump back to Nimbus now. Probably the next day at this point. Unless you had something else that you wanted to do after planting the seed pod.
No, I think I'm good.
Alright.
I have a question. Has Melanie Van Thrail called in her favor yet?
Not yet.
Well, interesting. Does she in that 3-year time period?
No.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know. I think Nim does casually check in on her maybe once in that 3-year period just to be like, oh, how is it going? How is Vale? How is Percival?
How
are the boys?
We're all doing fine. Everything's fully set up and everything is running quite efficiently.
Set up?
Yes, I mean we've rebuilt society.
Ah, you mean in Treladar in general?
Yes.
Well, good. I am glad to hear it. I will just cautiously await her calling in that favor. I'm very curious to see what she has in store.
Who knows?
I have been wondering this for a while, and I think Nim has maybe gone on several little outings over the last couple of years to see if she can find this. Huh?
An ooting. Sorry.
An ooting, okay.
I really heard you say poutine. I was like...
So, there was a mass revival of all of the night hags at Elissandra's former place of residence.
Yes.
One creature that I have yet to see in undead form is a certain owl hawk. Has there been any trace of Professor Thaddeus, Elissandra's former familiar?
No.
No?
None.
None.
Nothing.
Okay, then I need to make a trip to one of my favorite off-screen NPC places to see if he has any leads. This has not been spoken of on stream, but I have talked to Will about it, and that is the menagerie where Nimbus got Merle. her little baby familiar, and that is Martin Marigold's marvelous menagerie,
Fun
purveyor of
fact.
fine familiars and uncompromising companions.
Fun fact.
Yes.
It is now Martin Marigold and Sons. Marvelous Menagerie.
Oh, Martin Marigold and Sons.
Good for them.
And in addition to that, the building has been largely upgraded.
Oh.
You didn't go this way when you were in the city last time when it was all destroyed, but the entirety of the building had been destroyed.
Oh.
So Mr. Marigold had to rebuild. But thankfully, there were a number of people in the community that helped him do so, as well as a number of young kids that would basically come by the shop and play with the things after school, had become like young teenagers and young adults, and all decided to chip in, to the point where a number of them who may have lost family found themselves adopted by Mr. Marigold.
Aw.
No.
Mr. Martin Marigold, just to give everyone of like a visual, is a very jolly man, rosy cheeked, mustached, portly gentleman with like an egg yolk yellow apron and a marigold pinned to his lapel. And he is the owner and like head man at the menagerie, and he is just a delight.
Slay.
When you come into like the new upgraded building, you just hear like "Oh Nimbus, oh Nimbus, it's so good to see you again." And
Mr.
rushing down the stairs,
it's so good to see you.
a little bit more portly now.
Oh.
Kind of running down the stairs. Oh, it's been so long. Oh, thank you for everything you did for the city, my dear. Thank you for everything.
I am so glad to see that you are still, just flourishing the way you are. Thank goodness. I was so worried.
Yes, we were able to rebuild quite efficiently. And of course, we have the new kids and a number of like young adults. And there's like this like one sort of like teenager standing at the top of the staircase. They have like a dark blue apron and their arms are just kind of crossed. It's like, Mr. Marigold, they said you shouldn't be running. It's bad for your heart. And Mr. Marigold just looks back up. Oh, hush now, son. I told you to call me Dad.
Oh boy.
As father. It's sort of like a reluctant, like, fine, Dad. But they go back, and they appear to be tending to, like, a number of ravens and, like, avian companions. There's a lovely little Triton girl who's running around. She has, like, this sort of, like, pink sort of scaling on her. And, like, some pink fins decorating her. And she has, like, a whole bunch of, like, aquatic animals, like, swimming around her in, like, water that she's keeping around her body.
Cute.
And the last child that Martin Marigold had adopted is a young boy. Human by the looks of it. But
Bless you.
as you're basically, like, running up, they're just kind of, like, hiding behind Mr. Marigold's. Oh, come on out. Come on out, little one. Yes, come on. No, Nimbus is a friend. She's safe. And they'll pull down their head. Yes, unfortunately, this one here had a little bit of a run-in with a less than polite mage from Treladar here. And this young boy is a flesh warp.
Oh.
What?
Well, I'm sure he's going to be an absolute asset to the Marigold team.
Just kind of nods, and like you see a number of like sort of like undead animal companions around him. Oh yes, it's a new discovery: undead familiars.
You're kidding.
No.
That's actually not dissimilar to what I was coming here to ask you about. It's a little bit of a long shot. This was a familiar formerly belonging to a witch of the Baba Yaga, and when the witch was sort of exiled from the coven, the familiar had sadly lost its life as a result of that. but a good deal of that coven was resurrected um, as part of the takeover of Brighthall, and I was wondering if you had seen a hide nor hair of a little owl hawk, possibly skeletal. Um,
Skeletal owlhawk. Owlhawk in general is rare in these parts. But
yeah.
if it was a witch's familiar, then that familiar's life and such would be most likely attached to the patron. If the patron's no longer around, Nimbus, I'm afraid.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that it's not that the patron is not around. They're just sort of trapped in the mind of their better half. It is a long story and deeply complicated with centuries of history behind it. But to be clear, the patron in question is not necessarily entirely out of the picture.
Well, then it would be possible for the familiar to return if a similar ritual were done. But that would largely be up to the caster. Now, I don't want to pretend I know what's going on here, because I really don't. But in a lot of sort of patron cases, patrons can often be, quite frankly, a little bit abusive to the people that they have sometimes. And if it's sort of like that,
Yeah.
that familiar may have some bad memories attached to it that, it may not necessarily be good for the person who had it to have it return. But
No.
maybe if it's
Well, and I don't know that much about witches' familiars as opposed to untethered familiars, I suppose you could call them.
Oh.
So I wouldn't know if possibly reviving that familiar would also revive a connection between a witch and that patron.
Tally, the little flesh warp boy kind of nods. Can you go and get Nim the "I'm a witch, where's my familiar" pamphlet? He runs behind the counter, and there's this hands you this pamphlet. It's very much in the style of those
you.
old It's very much in the style of those sex ed pamphlets that exist.
Yes,
boy.
It's one of
unfortunately.
those, but except it's for witches and familiars.
Love it here.
But that's really all the information that general arcana and general knowledge has on those things. If someone's a witch, they might have a deeper sort of knowledge base than myself, I'm afraid. I largely provide familiars and sometimes pets to people. You know how it is.
Is he lying?
Are you going to use lie to me, or do you want to roll for it?
I'm using lie to me.
He's telling the truth.
Doesn't he need to roll?
Not when his... Yes, I do have to roll to see if he gets a natural 1.
What?
Just roll a d20. As long as it's not a natural 1, we're fine. 14. We're good.
Oh, well, what would I even theoretically... I'll stick by what I said, but what would I have even theoretically rolled in this case?
Well, you would have rolled your deception. I would have had you
That's
basically
not how
do...
lie to me works, though.
I would have had you do a contested deception check on this one, just because their deception modifier is surprisingly high for the type of person they are, at a whopping plus 40.
So, okay, well then they wouldn't need to roll a natural 1. They would need to roll like a 4 or lower. But still, interesting.
Either way,
Okay.
they're very good. They're a very good business person. It's yes. Oh, I'm not really one for patron magics. It's not the forte in which that I gather power for myself. But it would largely depend upon the patron.
All right. Well,
if they are patronless, it can be a little bit jarring. If they ever need someone to talk to, tell them to come by the shop.
I will actually. I think I will pass along that information. And you know, if you do happen to see a little lonely owl hawk, um, do give me a call.
Yes, I will send Miranda Toot Sweet to you. And the
Yes.
little fish girl just kind of waves.
Thank you very much.
Oh, so lovely to see you, Nimbus. And they give you a big old hug.
Lovely to see you too. I give him a big hug back. Merle hops out and says, "Thank you, Mr. Marigold."
Mr. Marigold offers Merle a treat on the way out.
Oh, Merle, scarfs that
It's
down.
very nostalgic for him because he doesn't sell these treats. He hand makes them.
Oh. For context, Merle did spend a good long time at this menagerie before Nimbus picked him out and took him home. So this is very sweet. But yeah, I think I will go to Elisandra, and sort of first of all apologize for kind of going over her head about this, and then gently relay the information that I was just given.
Nimbus, we promised we wouldn't lie to each other, yes?
Yes.
She just puts both her hands. I need you to understand something, then. And please, do not let this cloud your mind or judgment. I am very familiar with Mr. Marigold. He is decidedly older than most of my family.
How do you mean?
We weren't my coven wasn't the only witch game in town, so to speak.
He said he didn't know anything about witches.
Then you think to yourself for a second, he doesn't know anything about getting magic from a patron, were his words.
Oh. Oh, do you think he's a patron?
She's kind of
Oh, wait, I love that.
Oh. Oh, that is delightful. Well, he did say he's open to speaking to you. If you ever wanted to stop by and have a talk.
Nim, if you ever
I
want
just-
multi-class into witch, I have a primal custom patron made up for him.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a time where I was considering it.
Elizon just kind of looks. I think my days of witchery are behind me.
Well, I don't think you would be resummoning. I don't think you would be becoming a witch. It was more had to do with Professor Thaddeus, and I don't know. I've always thought it was very unfair that
Well, I have Penko now.
you have. Is that his name?
Yes, his name is Penko.
That's delightful.
Nice.
I know, but
Pen-
that doesn't change the fact that
Penko the peacock.
Pango the peacock. I know. I couldn't stand the thought of him stuck there in her hut with all of those jars full of souls, and I had to imagine you felt similarly.
I do, in the sense that they were in a similar situation to me. If I ever get the chance to free them, I will, but if I were to call them back to me, I fear they would simply be another eye that Baba Yaga has on me.
Right. More than just Cassandra.
Yes.
Well, then maybe it is worth talking to Mr. Marigold, just in case he has, I don't know, an alternative means of rescuing the poor thing.
Perhaps it's something I can look into.
Yes. I mean, whatever makes you most comfortable. I had the thought and acted upon it.
That's very fair.
Regardless, it might be worth a visit to a store just to see all of the cute little creatures. They're very sweet, Alessandra.
She kind of smiles. Perhaps. Um,
Perhaps.
as the two of you continue to walk through the streets together, we're going to quickly say Garl/Lynx. Do either of you have anything that you want to get done during this downtime?
Honestly, not really.
Okay.
Garl wants to build a guest house.
Garl, do you
For
want to...
Abby.
Well, for a guest house for anyone who wants to visit, so they have their own like separate cabin and stuff. So
so now,
Like a
Garl,
sleigh.
how's your crafting, Garl?
that's actually an interesting question. 1 second, I was looking at the thaumaturge thing.
How is
Yes, I don't know.
Garl's carpentry score?
Garl's crafting is actually 22.
Yeah, do you want to try to build the house yourself?
Sure.
All right. So then
26. I rolled a 4.
So to get things started, Matthew, maybe let me tell you to roll before we roll.
Okay. Sorry, DM.
Wow.
Museum.
Wow.
I have a process for this. So the
Oh, man,
first
that's not-
part of building any house is a foundation. And in order to build that foundation, Garl would need to dig a rather deep hole. So, Garl, would you like to make me a athletics or a crafting check to dig the hole?
I would like to use athletics.
Roll me an athletics check.
50.
You dig a hole like like no one's dug a foundation hole before. You get it done in a day. You're like one of those like low tech TikTokers who like builds houses out of dirt blocks and things.
Oh, I've seen those time-lapse videos.
Yeah.
Minecraft.
You do that all in one day.
I found a diamond. It's a square.
That's 9 diamonds then. As you get going, you've gotten the
A
foundation
Minecraft
built.
reference.
Yes, because 9 diamonds make a diamond block, which would be a square diamond.
Good for you.
So, after seeing McKenna's respect for me palpably leave her body,
Oh, what? Only a little.
only a little, Matthew, the next
Yes,
step from that is building the structure itself. For this one, I will need a crafting check.
All right.
And like how
More than a
complicated?
4, more than a 4, more than a
38.
4.
Much better.
Nice. Yeah,
There
you,
we go.
You build a solid house. A number of people come by and try to blow it over. It doesn't get blown over, so you're fine. And it takes you like about 2 weeks of just working every day on it. But eventually you build like a nice small log cabin guest house.
Nice.
Maybe
Any-
a zip line.
Any particular
Maybe a zip line.
any particular decoration you want in it? Like, are you going like full Gaston's hunting lodge for it, or are you doing? Is it going to be very avant-garde?
Garl is going to find a big tree, or find a nice big block left over from the actual construction, and is going to just sit for the rest of the day in a nice windy spot in the shade maybe, and try whittling like a wolf's head in profile, just to stick above the door. This will be the wolf cabin. You know, like I've heard, have like themed cabins at camp. So Garl's gonna make a wolf head cabin.
Camp Garl. Nice. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Cooper, you get you get an extra hero point for humoring me. But yeah. Nim, who else is on your list?
I have 2 more.
Okay.
And one should be pretty quick. What has Gunther been up to? Who has he been hanging out with?
Gunther is not locatable without expending high-level magic. Would you like to expend said high-level magic?
I mean, I'll probably, if he's not with Dad, and he's not with Malachor, and he's not with Mom,
He's not with Dad.
I'm shooting him a sending first. Just be like, hey, worried about you. Where are you?
Lady Nimbus, I was released from service and thought I would help an old friend with a new venture. Will return when I can, though maybe sometime.
May I ask where and what old friend?
I am currently helping the former emperor of the Opal Empire construct a new settlement on the new continent.
Ah, interesting. Well, best of luck.
I'm supposed to say Arinari says hi.
Arinari's there.
Yes.
Why?
Excuse me.
Drevlin, Arinari, and Gunther are leading this project together.
Hmm.
Okay, that's good, actually. That's a great segue into the last person on my list, who is Drevrin. I figure he may not know about the million people that were rescued, and he definitely doesn't know about Mama Saint Altair trying to like restore where the Opal Empire was originally. So I will probably at least shoot him a sending saying, "Hey, I have really important information for you. Would love to talk in person. Could talk over sending if I had to."
Drevlin will reply with a, "It would be very difficult for me to return to the old world.
I could go to the new world. Do you have a door?
No.
You don't have a door.
We have tents right now. We're kind of rebuilding.
That's technically a door.
A tent flap is not a door.
I disagree.
If a vampire can go into it, it's not a door.
Ugh. Are there any doors nearby?
I mean, I could build one, but it might take a little bit of time.
It's probably faster than it would take me to travel there. It can just be a freestanding door.
Oh god, I'm thinking about where to put this on the map for season 2 now.
Oh boy. It's organic world building.
I need like
It's Dr. Bull's world.
it takes like a week,
Dr.
and then you get
Bull's
another sending from Arinari. I'm supposed to say a door is ready for you.
He doesn't get a response, but I do ask anyone who is interested if they would like to come visit Drevrin with me. Bueller, once,
Carl?
twice. Alessandra, Gwendolyn.
Alessandra
Okay, I'm going by myself. So I will open the door and step right out.
Yeah, and you see a bustling, basically young frontier town being built. Directly behind you, Nimbus, is a very large cliff face that goes all the way up, like several hundred feet. It's like a huge basin that you're in. And this continues to extend to the north and south, like beyond your view. And like the biggest section of this, probably, that's like the biggest first eye-catching thing, is on that area there is what appears to be a scale system that is elevators. So like when one's at the top, the other one's at the bottom, and they like act as scales between each other.
All right.
And
Fascinating.
Drevin just kind of waves and says, Nimbus, yeah, that's Abadar Scales is what we're calling that.
Fantastic. All right. Is there anywhere we can go and talk?
I got a little building partially constructed. Come with me.
Sure. That's interesting. Wasn't he a follower of Sarenrae?
He was.
Oh no.
He still is. This is there's more than just him going on here.
Right.
You're good. So he's going to bring you in to like a nice little building. He kind of like puts his hat on a sort of a hook, and kind of yells, "Camilla, brought a friend from the old world in to come and visit us for a bit. And this human woman who is very pregnant comes
Good for her.
walking out.
Oh, Miss Carmilla, lovely to meet you. And this
Yes.
gives like a deep curtsy.
She just kind of looks at you doing that. She's like, nice to meet you, Nimbus. She kind of like holds her hand out. It's a pleasure to finally meet the person I've heard a fair amount about.
Oh, have you really?
Oh, yes, he was quite the sad sack when he first came here. It's like, all right, honey, you don't need to pull me out that much. I was like, fair enough.
Am I to understand then, Reverend, that you are soon to be a parent?
Yes. This is going to be our kid. We think it's going to be a son. He's been kicking a lot, but you know.
Oh, congratulations, Reverend. I'm so happy for you. Can I ask,
Yeah.
what does Carmilla look like?
So Carmilla. She has sort of like a long, flowing, like curly red hair.
Okay.
Set of freckles just around her, just across her
Aw.
eyes, and a sort of, if you want to make a perception check, you won't be able to miss it. You don't even need to roll it. But she has makeup covering, basically a number of spots on her face that would probably indicate that she is some sort of Orid, or attached to like the plane of Earth,
Interesting.
partially.
Huh. But mostly, I was just wondering if she looked anything like Cassandra.
Nothing like
Yeah. I knew
And
exactly
I'm
what you were
so
doing, you
glad.
cheeky.
I knew you'd get it, Cooper.
No,
Here with you.
decidedly does not look like Cassandra.
That's so wonderful to hear. And Nimbus says, well then, you're more than welcome to stay for this. I have actually some really wonderful news, some of which you may have actually heard, and some of which I doubt you have. First of which is that virtually everyone who we thought we had lost in the original bombing of the Opal Empire, had actually been saved by one Melanie Van Thrail and some very quick thinking. They've sort of been relocated all over. There was about 1 million of them. I wasn't sure if you'd been told.
Nah, I haven't been told that.
So you didn't know?
No, that's good to hear. Listen, Nimbus, frontier life is not necessarily for everyone.
No.
But if you'd be so willing, if you'd be willing to get the word out there that we're kind of building things back up here. Now, we're kind of doing it differently. It's not necessarily the Opal Empire. I'm not really a person in power. I'm just a helping hand. We have a sort of council here that we have going about.
I've noticed you've adopted this rather strange drawl, Trevor. It sounds good on you though.
Yes, I apologize for that. It's sort of just I apologize. It's been a bit of a culture shock for me, I guess would be the best way to put it. And Carmilla speaks up. Well, you know, Drevin, you were a bit of a sad sack when you got here, and
Is that all she says?
A little bit of kindness helps your way. It's like, yes, honey, I know.
Good for her.
I like Carmilla. Immediately, Nimbus is like,
Slay.
well, that actually leads me to the second thing. My mother has endeavored to reverse some of the damage that was done to the land previously owned by the Opal Empire, and to perhaps restore the islands at least, if not the continent.
Carmilla gets up at that point.
Were you aware that it was once a continent?
Carmilla gets up at that point and goes to leave the room. Drevlin just kind of like...
Sorry, did I say something?
Drevlin just kind of puts his hand in front on yours like a sort of a don't worry about it, Nimbus. You know, old world subjects. kind of playing
Well,
back,
yes,
it's like
but-
I've as much responsibility as I have. Kind of like nods his head over. I kind of started a new responsibility here, Nim.
I understand that.
And I just can't get her to
I
up
think
and
there
leave.
may be some paperwork involved. Sorry, what?
And I just can't. I can't ask her to just up and leave.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, internet died.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word of what you just said.
My internet just died for a sec.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
He was saying that he can't. I can't just, get her to get up and leave.
No, of course.
You don't know. We don't
Um,
necessarily know what magical
there
travel
is
does
just
to a
the-
baby, so.
Oh, I'm sure I could find some research on it, but there is still the small matter of 1 million people sort of looking to you for some guidance. And if you did want to transfer power over to, say, a council or some other form of government, I think you would have to sign off on that personally, or they may not recognize it as a
Technically
legitimate.
speaking, Nimbus, the Opal Empire has already fallen.
Olympus has fallen.
Right.
If it were to come
But
back,
it may.
Charles Butler?
if it were to come back again, I wouldn't necessarily be the person in charge of it anymore.
Down with
Perhaps
hereditary monarchies.
Oh, and Nimbus agrees with that, but it's a matter of like he's got a society of people that looked
Like,
up to him
Nim, make me
and
just
may
a
not
general,
recognize.
Make me a society check.
Yeah.
Society.
We live in a society. So yeah, legally speaking, the Opal Empire has fallen. Even if the land were to return, the empire itself does not exist anymore.
La gasp.
Damn, the Empire's living my dream.
Like basically, Dreverin is basically Dreverin is now basically just like a regular Joe Schmo. Legally speaking.
The Joe Schmo.
The Joe Schmo.
Yes, the Joe Schmo.
Jingleheimer Schmidt?
On like a societal standpoint, yes, Nimbus's sort of worry is definitely well founded. However, excuse me, there would be a very easy way to solve that. And Dreverin kind of heads over to a thing and starts like writing out basically a very long letter, and just kind of signs and says, "Nimbus, I hate to be the one to ask you to do this. If you could."
Of course.
You're the queen now.
He hands you a letter. It's sort of a last decree.
I give you a hamburger.
If my folks
Ooh.
are sort of, if the people of the Empire are sort of spread out, this tells them that, hey, I'm over here kind of rebuilding something, it'll be different. But otherwise, to find their way and to help out in the places where they can.
I will spread your message to them. I'm sure it will be a great comfort.
Hey, just because one thing's ended doesn't mean a new thing can't start up again.
No, of course. It's just been a difficult transition period for many.
I understand that. Oh, yeah, how many of them
Blah.
got thrown? How many of them got thrown through the roof by Garl? Kind of chuckles at that.
Oh, I mean, personally, if I had to choose between getting thrown through a roof by Garl and being trapped in a crystal for, say, a year and a half, and then displaced and having to learn of the loss of my home, I would choose the former.
That's fair.
But, tomato, tomato.
They were trapped in a crystal.
Yes, along with Melanie Van Thrail.
How'd they
it was
how'd
sort of
they
a-
how'd they get out?
Oh, well, that's a fascinating story. You see,
Oh
me and the
boy.
party, Nimbus launches into the whole story about them
Do you-
infiltrating the academy at Treladar and
Do you mention the Gripply?
yes.
Upon your mentioning of the Gripply, there is just this sort of like, oh God moment on his face.
What? What? You're making a face.
That okay, you know how sometimes people hire people because of like family connections.
Oh no, was he a
Nepo
Nepo
baby.
frog baby?
He was
Nepo tadpole.
100% nepotism. He had a uncle who was through marriage who was like a member of like the ruling like city people that we had, like a number of people who oversaw the city, who got them the job up in the palace as just a regular errand boy. Oh God, he was incompetent.
Yes, he was rather sensitive. But so was I when I first started adventuring. Perhaps there is promise in there somewhere.
Perhaps. But either way, and as you're saying this, a sort of knock at the door at Drevrin's door causes him to stand up. He walks towards it. He opens the door, and then just walking through the door is a lizard person. Drevrin, we need to continue working
Oh, boy.
on the Parks District. Yes, right away. I'll just have a short little meeting, and then we'll get back to it.
All right. I don't suppose you have any idea where Gunther is. I would like to see him
Lady
while I'm out
Nimbus,
here. Gunther!
you called.
Nimbus gives him a big ol' hug.
So long as I'm in the same area as the world of you, I can usually get to you pretty quickly.
Oh, I had no idea you had been discharged. I assumed you had either been with, well, one of my parents.
Yes, I do apologize. Post-battle, your father allowed me to leave service for some time, and I was
Oh,
left a little aimless, so I decided to, with the instruction of a mutual friend of ours, come and represent the League here.
oh, which friend was that?
Gallant.
Ooh. Ah,
Oh!
fascinating thing you've just said. When did you hear from Gallant?
When I was in Lutania with Chip and them, I ran into Gallant Grixley's ghost.
Oh, yes. That poor man.
Yes, that's one way of describing it.
Listen, he helped pay for Nim's rent for he kept Nim with a roof over her head for like a solid 7 months, so she's got a soft spot for him.
Cut to Gallant floating. Cut to Chip's office with Gallant just floating above Chip, being like, "Oh, Chip, when will you do some adventuring? I'm ever so bored. Nothing but
Aw.
paperwork. Only paperwork."
Chip's just saying, 2 more days until those ghost bullets arrive. Just 2 more days. I paid for the extra shipping fee.
You could have just asked Nim to exercise him.
Jesus
That's the
Christ.
worst part.
He wants to do it. He's my
What
ghost.
happened to
I'll do it.
Chip? He used to be so mild-mannered and so sweet. What happened to my boy?
Increased paperwork.
But yes, I was asked to represent the League here, and I am the League's representative on the ruling council.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, congratulations.
Whatever you do, do not say their name, or else they will appear. But they are also representative on the council as well.
What if you wrote it out? I don't know who you're talking about.
Someone you find very distasteful.
Does he
Aranari.
wear checkered leather pants?
Oh no, not anymore. It's Paisley.
Leather
now.
pants.
It's Paisley.
That's almost worse.
Paisley. If you've ever imagined like a super stereotypical cowboy, like the loudest, outlandish cowboy you can, that's what Aranari's dress is now.
Has he ever gotten any less sociopathic?
A fair amount. He's been quite concerned with ensuring the people of this area are well taken care of and protected, although he's been focusing a lot on the magical research that's opened up to him in this area of the world.
What purpose does he have for ensuring people's well-being?
As he put it, and choose to believe this or not, he has turned over a new leaf.
Are you aware that R&R is, or at least was, perhaps this has changed, lacking the part of his soul that allows him to care about other people's well-being?
Yes.
Has that changed?
I do not know.
I don't think I'm going to risk it by asking him personally. He and I do not get along very well.
No, you do not. That is why I am avoiding calling them here.
Yes, well,
The lizard person just kind of goes,
he's not in disguise as that lizard person, is he?
no, they're not.
Okay.
That is a representative from
Of?
the locals of this area.
Oh, that's good.
They've joined with us in construction of this settlement.
That could be a very positive thing.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like you were being called back then, and I am keeping you untowardly.
The lizard person speaks up. Mainly, I do not know how much of our things I can speak of with you around. I do not know you, I'm afraid.
Oh. I have been, at least I would consider myself, a ward of Gunther's for, well, the majority of my life. Nimbus Evangeline Amalthea St. Altair. Pleasure to meet you.
They shake your hand. This is the youngling that you've spoken of, Gunther.
You've spoken of me.
Yes, it is a pleasure to meet you, Nimbus.
Pleasure is all mine. May I have your name?
Savella Blackgrass, of the Blackgrass Bayou
Savella
tribe.
Hmm.
Of the Blackgrass Bayou. It is
Lovely.
a lovely area to the south, west of here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Did you have anything to say about our mutual acquaintance in the Paisley Pants?
Arnari, he is a friend to me, personally.
Red flag.
Yeah.
It is rare you find someone who shares interest in magical research here.
Well, I shall have to send perhaps some of my more research-oriented friends here so that you have someone to talk shop with who is not him.
Fair enough.
It's been lovely meeting you.
Lovely as well. But Drevin, we must start speaking of the defenses.
Defenses, is there
Drevin just
an
kind of waves
assailant?
his hand. Very far away from here, Nimbus. Do not worry.
All right.
Well,
you know to call me if you need me.
Yes.
All right.
And yeah. As you head out, there you go. That's your preview of campaign 2.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that. You also just met Matt's great-great-grandfather.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Technically speaking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Fascinating.
Very.
I do actually have one more person I need to talk to. This is not an NPC though.
Where to?
I think possibly while he is in the midst of cursing his expedited shipping or lack thereof, Professor Chip receives a knock on his door.
Chip walks to the side, and from the behind, sort of like to the side of a bookshelf that's not visible then from where you enter the room, pulls down a little periscope, and above your head, Nim, a little hole in the ceiling opens up, like directly above your head. Still, unless you hear it, you wouldn't notice it. Chip looks down just to confirm who's on the other side of the door, because the peephole is not very useful to Chip because he would not be able to reach it, or it would be low enough that he'd be looking at their knees. So, after confirming that at least it appears to be you, he retracts the periscope and goes and opens the door. Oh, yes, Nim, delightful to see you. Come in, come in, come in.
Yes, of course, of course. Do you have any questions for me to ascertain my identity?
Let me think now. Let me think. Who was the perpetrator behind the strange events that occurred 2 winter solstices ago?
Oh, goodness. We never truly found out, did we? There was a reindeer, and it was very large and rather skeletal.
I suppose I should have said, sorry, 1 winter solstice ago, not the most recent one, but the one just prior to that.
Oh, that was Garl. I didn't think you'd heard about that.
Oh, you hear about these sort of things. I think Garl may have mentioned it during one of her checkups.
Oh, has Garl been coming to you for checkups?
Probably shouldn't have said that. Never mind.
Is something the matter?
No. I'm just,
Lie to me.
Oh,
hold on. Let me get Chip's thing open.
uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Giving McKenna access to the lie to me feat. The lie to me feat
32.
is probably McKenna's
Not even
favorite.
close. That is actually a critical failure.
I rolled 6.
Uh-oh.
That's surprising. That's better than I thought it was going to be.
Also, I haven't, we haven't told Nim anything, have we?
No.
No, you haven't. Nimbus's professor, if you had wanted to just say that there was, patient-doctor confidentiality, I would have understood. You didn't have to lie to me.
Uh-oh.
Got me in a bit of a jammy situation here, Nim. Sit.
I said,
Chit waddles over to his desk and pulls out his tea set. I'm not changing the subject, but this is a recent acquisition of mine that I'm quite proud of. He just kind of wraps the side of the teapot with his knuckle, and some like little runes around the bottom of it glow, and the tea just starts to boil in the pot without any external fire source. It saved me a lot of time, I must say.
oh, wow. To have a magical tea set. That's fabulous. I shall have to get one for either Elisandra or Gwendolyn or both, maybe for all of us.
I think
But-
it's from a shop in town.
Should you decide you would like to tell me what is going on with Garl, and you do not have to, I would love to know. But I will not pressure you any more than that. I do actually have business to attend to here. Would you be able to notarize something legally?
Yes.
As in my capacity, oddly enough, in my capacity as the director of the league, yes, though not if I would do something in the medical profession.
Legally, though.
Yes, weirdly enough.
And can
I
I
have a
trust
stamp
your
in a drawer
discretion?
somewhere here.
Chip,
Yes.
may I trust your discretion on this?
Oh, it's her will.
Of course.
Nimbus slides you the last will and testament of Nimbus Evangeline of Althea Saint Altair across the desk.
I should say, Nim, I am legally required to read it before I notice it. So, if you're comfortable with that, I can proceed.
Of course.
Pulls out his little spectacles, and he just he pushes a small teacup with a couple little biscuits on the tea saucer towards you. So have something to do while he sits here, and he goes through it very carefully. Everything does seem to be in order and clear enough. I know there is oftentimes some problems if there is ambiguity in the language. So, full
I was
marks
very
for
careful.
clarity. So,
Thank you.
reaches into a
Professor.
drawer, pulls out a special little box, pulls out a stamp, wet stamp on a little ink pad, puts a stamp down, and then pulls a tiny hammer out and just
What? No letter grade?
eh, puts it back in the box, puts it back in the drawer, hands you back to you. I would say this is quite responsible. I know you've been associating with a few people recently, quite friendly. I'm an old sort. I'm not up on the language that young kids use nowadays when a group of people live together and associate together. But I think it's quite responsible.
Roommates.
Yes.
Do you mean my
Roommates.
girlfriend's, Chip?
Well, that's not business. Um, um, it's very responsible for you to make sure this is all in order. You wouldn't want them to, be in a tight spot if anything were to happen.
No, of course. And I mean, most of the assets are either theirs or my father's anyway, so it's really just, it's not a whole lot to worry about, but the idea of them having to sort through any of it, if. And Merle, of course. Um,
I should, while we're on the subject, oddly enough, I should mention him. I myself had my will updated just last week, especially since I have so many responsibilities these days. And just as a bit of a heads up, I suppose, I mentioned in my will that if anything were to occur to me, that a sort of conference would be chaired to determine the best candidates for leadership of the league. And though it's a decent sized list at this point, your name is on the list.
oh, Chip.
Yeah, don't thank me. Wait till you see the paperwork I have to do today.
What if, listen, I know you're a very busy man, and I think personally that there is some part of you that enjoys this mess. But have you not thought about delegating at least the paperwork to someone?
Oh, Nimbus, I do delegate.
Delegate some more.
Well, I would, but someone else might get it wrong.
That's fair enough.
On God.
Well, hopefully I will not need this for a very, very long time, but
I echo that sentiment.
thank you.
Nim,
Yes.
before you go, there are certain things, of course, I cannot speak of as a medical professional. There are certain things kept in confidence. But as your friend, and as I like myself as Cassandra's friend as well, keep an eye on her, and if it looks like she needs you, please make yourself available.
Of course. And I'm warning you now, I am going to tell Cassandra. I think she needs to know
About?
that Garl's been coming here for checkups. And
Well, I
that
can't
sometimes-
comment.
Oh!
That knowledge might already have been shared.
Well,
They seem like very close these days,
on the off chance that it is not, I will be sharing it with her. I know Garl is sometimes the type of person who will hide stab wounds and impalements and various injuries and illnesses for as long as she can possibly humanly get away with it.
I mean, you're not wrong. Did you know she had a chunk of wood in her hip?
Wood?
Yes, I have no idea how it got there. It wasn't infected or anything. It was just in her hip.
As like a joint.
I think it was a part of a
implant?
chair.
Like
No,
she
it's
just
just-
sat on it incorrectly and it had stabbed her and she just left it there.
It might have been part of an explosion or something.
Oh, Carl.
Well, it's gone now. It's in a jar in a cabinet over there.
Why do you keep these things?
I mean, I'm curious about the composition of the wood. The fact that it didn't cause an infection or something while remaining within her tissue, quite remarkable.
Fun fact: as you look at that now, there are now crystals growing on it.
It's in a cabinet. I can't see it. That's not something you leave out.
Yeah. Bloody steak.
I assumed
In
it
a
was
jar,
in
just out on
glass. I assumed it was one of those like glass cabinets that you could see into. And I was like,
No.
Now these are private things that Chip is investigating. So no, it's behind lock and key.
well, it is growing crystals, so you have that information now.
Also, and usually I'd be more than happy to take the blame for any of my slips, but if you feel so inclined, blame it on the ghost.
What ghost? Oh, is Gallant here?
Not the moment, thankfully.
Gallant? Can you
Lord.
hear me?
There's no answer.
I thought we were friends, Nim.
If you look out the window, you see Ascendancy and Gallant in like the yard, and you see Gallant has taken like, you know how ghosts have like that wispy bottom? He's taken his wispy bottom and turned it into a sword, and is dueling with Ascendancy.
Oh, to be a
What do
wispy
you mean?
ball.
Do you have something against Gallant?
Chip just kind of looks at you.
Just looks to you. Make a perception check.
Please crit fail. Please crit fail. Please crit fail.
Nope.
50.
Oh no.
Nim,
Natural 19.
Just on Chip's desk, as if the package just got there moments before, is a package that says "Ghost Bullets."
I think you should leave.
Nice.
Eh?
I think you should leave.
You're not planning on doing anything untoward. He's already dead.
I think you should leave, Nim.
You see Nim turn on her heel and book it downstairs. Ascendancy!
Chip pulls out a violin case and opens it.
Gallant! Exercise for your own good!
Ascendancy,
this.
and he just like turns, and like, oh, hold up. Yes, good chap. Of course. Oh, Nimbus,
He's
it's so
got a
good to
ghost
see you
gun!
again.
He's going to ghost shoot you!
Oh, Nimbus, you're hilarious. Chip would never do that to me.
not
We are the
joking.
greatest of
God.
companions, the best of friends, roommates. If I were corporeal,
I'm
perhaps more.
Making a religion check right now.
Oiling the barrel.
So 46 to exercise him and send him to someplace nice.
Just gonna say, Nim, did you just try to exercise me? I'm getting
I
quite.
promise it was for your own
I'm getting quite a
Just a
good.
handful of salt.
I'm getting
throwing
quite a
salt at
good
him.
amount of exercise working out with Ascendancy here.
Professor Chip is going to shoot you. He's up in that window with a box of ghost bullets right
that
now.
that window there, all I see is a grassy knoll.
Oh my god!
Gallant.
Shut up!
Yeah, let's
Ascendancy and I had plans to go to the theater tonight. We had a box seat.
Oh my god.
Chip pulls
I
out a
look
little
at
bag,
Ascendancy
says powder
with,
of
like-
guidance. Sprinkles it on the gun.
I look at Ascendancy, panic in my eyes. You can see through the Coke bottle glasses. Ascendancy, please help me convince this man to send him to the next life, the great beyond. Something, anything has to be better than being killed and shot a second time.
Oh
But to
my
be fair, I
God.
wasn't shot the first time I was impaled.
No, you weren't. Semantics, Gallant. Please,
Yes,
Ascendancy.
like I said, Chip would never hurt me. We were best friends.
Chip would hurt you. Chip would hurt you.
Well,
He's actively.
We're like this.
Can we at least
No, you don't
out of the line
understand.
of sight of the window?
Oh, of course.
Chip's a different man.
Just flies inside the window, flies back. Yes, Chip was simply putting away a violin case.
That
Oh
wasn't
my
a violin
God.
case!
Well, no, because it's the Academy of Arts. I believe it's quite responsible for Chip as its dean to pick up an instrument. That's quite the good thing.
It's not a violin case. It's not a violin case. Gallant, did you see on his desk the ghost bullets? The bolts for ghosts.
Yes, the ghost bullets. Have you not seen it? Ascendancy has one of them too. It's like a little blender.
Hello, Opera House. I have a
There's a
question about a
slow-
reservation tonight.
Oh my God.
A slow turn to ascendancy with the accusation written all over her face.
Ascendancy goes into a bag of holding and pulls out a little bullet blender. It says ghost bullet. It's for protein
What do you have
shakes.
that for, ascendancy?
It's a
Woo
blender.
Ascendancy Chan.
A blender for what? Ghosts?
No, he opens it up, he reaches back, gets some kale out. Makes like a kale smoothie.
What is it plugged into?
It's
Are we still in the courtyard?
It's
Also,
magically powered. Nimbus, it's a magical
back in the
item.
office. Back in the office, Chip opens a drawer, pulls out an envelope, and it has the rough drafts of the brochure he made selling ghost blenders that he constructed from nothing and made a fake thing to distract from his plan.
Nimbus just steps between Gallant and the window.
Bold of you to assume I can't do a ricochet shot.
Off of what? Ascendancy?
Also, you're not a ghost. The bolt will pass through you harmlessly.
I don't think that's how it works.
It could.
Weapons? No. I am going to rules lawyer you on this one. Ghost runes in Pathfinder are runes that are applied to specific weapons, including bullets.
Yes, but
I never
ghost,
said it was a
That
ghost
makes
rune.
but ghost bullets are different.
Yeah, they're just positive energy
No,
bullets.
we can't say that, because if we say that here, then McKenna's character in the next campaign is going to want them.
Yeah, you're going to have to live with what you've just done, William.
Only-
I'm not going to make
only-
you rue the day.
Only if you can find Chip and get his recipe for positive energy bullets.
Listen, the dissemination of information will happen slowly but surely over the next 300 years, and Honey Madeline will get her hands on ghost bullets eventually.
I
Mark
love
my
Honey
words.
Madeline.
Does he take the fucking shot?
No, he's gonna wait.
No, wait
You're
for some
gone.
point where Nimbus is not.
Yes, I'm
He just
supposed
puts
to-
on a
Gallant-
record player
Gallant-
of violin music.
Gallant actually speaks up. Yes, I actually, later today, Ascendancy and I are participating in a parade.
Gallant, and I will make a diplomacy check if I have to. I need you to hear me.
God, where's
You
some
have
other
annoyed Chip for the last time, and he
Damn
will
right he
make
has.
sure it is the last time if you do not let up. Perhaps apologize to him for, I don't know actually what it was that you did that made him so upset, but he is a reasonable man.
We're good friends. I spend every waking moment I'm
You are
not
not.
training Ascendancy
You are
with him.
not. You are
I
not good
hover
friends.
Over them, I help them with their paperwork.
Will, what do I have to roll to convince Gallant Grixley that he is not a good friend of Professor Chip?
You need a DC 55, diplomacy.
Okay, so I need a nat 20.
You know, Nim, I have a perfect solution to
Asshole.
you wanting to convince
Uh.
him. You take the shot.
Why
Matthew!
would why would that convince him?
I mean, he'd be gone. He'd be really convinced then in the afterlife.
I'm gonna use a hero point.
Oh, boy.
Nimbus,
Nope.
Chip and I are the closest to friends. Nothing bad would ever happen to us.
Gallant, please.
No, you don't understand!
Your unlife is in danger.
Oh, it's fine. Chip would
Would
never.
I lie to you about this?
Oh, no, but babe, perhaps you may have misheard him. I don't think Chip would be capable of harming a hair on my body. I'm a ghost. I don't have hair. But
You don't
know.
have hair. You have.
I was
You
thinking
have-
it.
I don't know. Ghost plasma. He would harm that.
I have ectoplasm.
Ascendancy, please help me talk some sense into him.
The Ascendancy just kind of... Many men better than me have tried?
Are you in on this, Ascendancy?
No.
Are you in on this a ghost assassination plot?
Is it a
You'll
ghost
never know.
assassination plot if they're a ghost?
Gallant is a ghost, so yes.
Yes.
You're in on it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So you're giving information to Chip?
Yes, Chip said he wants to give them a surprise.
You realize that surprise is murder, yes?
No.
Ascendancy, please tell me you
Chip
are
would
not so
never-
naive.
Chip would never do that. It's Chip. It's Professor Chip.
Chip has a loaded gun in his office trained at Gallant Grixley right now.
I knew he had a loaded gun in his office, but I thought that was for the assassin.
The assassin?
The assassin that tried to kill
Uh-oh.
Chip.
Oh.
Did she ever make it here?
He said something about an assassin popping up, but he said he dealt with them.
How did he do it?
I don't know. He said that
He slayed, obviously.
Excuse me for a minute.
Yes, Talia.
This
Nim?
becomes Nim.
God.
Here, let us
This
go.
has become
Ascendancy, it is time for my speech. In the very large field with a number of high buildings near it.
You know what? I tried. Nimbus contemplatively walks back upstairs and knocks on Chip's door again.
just a moment. I'm putting my violin away.
You're a violin away. Yes, I'm so certain, Professor.
Come in.
Your violins away.
Ascendancy just told me that there was an assassination attempt.
Oh yes, so that's a bit of old news now. That's 2 years on now, I think.
You never told us.
I mean, it really wasn't that big of a deal. They didn't get farther than the threshold of the door.
It was the little rat folk girl, yes?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes.
It's always terrible to see young people who have so much potential throw their life away on a rather wicked cause.
Oh, I don't know how much say she had in it. It was, she was under very close surveillance from the same man who overthrew the Latonian election, actually. Draken?
Well, that may explain her heart really didn't seem like it was in it.
Oh.
So what became of her? Ascendancy said that you dealt with it, but didn't know how.
I wouldn't worry about it, Nim. They are no longer a threat, and I believe they are on the road to a better life.
Oh! So you didn't take care of it? She's still...
Oh no,
Talking
I
about?
didn't. There was no need to kill them.
Oh. So you let her... So you just let her
Well,
go?
they were taken into custody. There were questions they had to answer.
Oh. Do you have any idea what became of her in the courts?
I don't believe. I don't think a court case has been started up. Honestly,
It's been 2 years.
I have not checked in with the courts.
Oh. Well, I think they're probably still open. I could go down to the courthouse today and see what's taking so long with the trial. She was taken into police custody?
She was taken into custody. Yes.
That's a...
You keep in mind, Nim, that this was during the height of the conflict. There was not exactly a police station we could take her to.
Interesting.
She was taken into league custody at the time, and we handled the initial kind of interrogation.
Do you have a name for her?
You'd have to ask Will. I don't actually know the character's name. Chip would know the character's name. I do not.
Will as Chip, what is this sad lady's name?
That's a very good question. Give me a second.
Did they ever
So
have
true.
one?
She has one. I just have to make sure I give you the right one.
Rat Wilkes Booth.
No.
Oh God.
God almighty.
Doji.
Sorry, say again?
Doji. D-O-G-I.
Doji.
Yes, Doji. They either
Any last
never
name?
they never either gave one or they just don't have one. That is not uncommon in certain families and cultures.
No, I suppose not. Well, yes, I suppose I will go down to the station and ask. What on earth is taking so long with that trial? I'm actually quite surprised it's not big news. You'd think that with all that's going on with Treladar and everything, that would be.
Well, again, this was probably nearly 2 years ago, and it was not the only assassination attempt. This was just possibly the most subtle one they attempted. Other ones were, we're going to send a dragon flying at the resistance base. This one, they actually tried to be calm about it and, get someone into here with like a knife.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
So that's how she did it then.
Well, I
Or
believe
attempted
that
to.
was the plan, unless there was something even more subtle that just never got off the ground, so to speak.
Well, if there was anything more subtle than that, I didn't hear about it. I don't think they were anticipating you to be as formidable a foe as you are.
They may have not expected me to be as paranoid as I had become at the time.
Right.
So true.
Well, I'll let you know what happens with her court case.
I honestly wouldn't bother, Nim. It's either being held up in so much red tape or it's already been processed and they moved on to things, especially considering the courts, as I hear, have been quite busy dealing with a lot of very shady things that occurred under the umbrella of the conflict.
Of what?
Well, in war times, there are many people who think they can get away with things they couldn't normally. And now they are, I imagine, finding out that that's not quite the case.
Okay.
Profiteers, people abusing their authority because they were in with the administration. They are now thankfully seeing the light of day, getting their day in court.
Interesting.
I mean, and also, if it's very possible, if what you were saying is true, and the assassin was simply coerced into the whole thing, and the fact that they didn't actually succeed, they may have been served their sentence already. They may have made a deal. They may have, gotten a lighter sentence because it was just an attempt at murder. I mean, I certainly didn't press charges.
Whatever the situation, there should be records of it. So I'll just take a look. Thank you, Chip. She's gonna go take a look at the courthouse.
Nim, you make just a roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier.
Oh,
I
God,
did
my
not
intelligence
lie at
modifier
any
is-
point
no,
during
you
that
didn't.
conversation.
You were very
You're
careful.
very careful.
Keep in mind, Will, I do have that untrained improvisation thing, if that's helpful.
This is just to see Nim's
That's a
memory.
natural 19 on the die face.
Now, Nim, to be fair, you have met this person before.
Yeah.
So
I could do.
sending any number. You have any number of spells that you're just supposed to discern where they are.
Oh boy.
Yes, I could discern their location right now. I don't really have a need to do that yet.
That's fair.
And it might be less of an invasion of their privacy to just look in the files. So that's what I will attempt to do.
All right, you're going to head to the courthouse then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me 1 second. There you go. You head over to the courthouse, and there's a clerk behind the desk, Hello, my name is Amos. Amos the clerk. Pleasure to meet you. Miss Saint Altair, how can I help you on
Yes.
this fine day?
I was looking to learn about well, hopefully the conclusion of a case involving the would-be assassin of one Dean Nicholas Chip. I believe they went by the name Doji.
Give me but a moment. I will look in to our. I will look into our files.
Should have been about 2.5 years ago.
All right then. They
Are
go
you
in.
Will typing things, or are you just like pantomiming for the?
I am pantomiming for the character.
I love that.
They
Hold on a
go.
sec.
They start looking behind. They start looking behind things. They start pulling out boxes, kind of going through a filing cabinet. Up, up, up. Yeah, right here. They bring out what appears to be court documentation saying that the person was brought into custody. They were tried. They were found guilty, but they were under duress. So they were released and sent on their way with passage back to Treladar.
Oh. Huh. Well, good for them. Thank you.
Of
It's good
course,
to know.
happy to help out. It's my job. I'm a clerk. Amos the clerk.
Should I make?
If
I
you
feel like I
want
should
to
make some sort of.
if you want to inspect the document, you can make a perception check.
I do want to. I don't think I'm gonna perceive anything of note, but yeah, that's only a 35.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Do you want to use your hero point?
All right. I don't think I have a second
You
one.
don't
I
have a
used
second?
one in Gallant earlier.
Fair enough.
Unless, not kidding.
Fair enough. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't see anything weird. It just seems like a pretty standard case.
Whatever happened with Draken? Because he would have. I'm sure his file is somewhere
Oh, he's
attached to this
dead.
case because
He's
he's dead.
He's dead. He got killed in. Yeah, he got killed. Specifically, he was found murdered about 2 days after the conflict had ended.
You know what? I think Nim is just gonna send her a little sending
Okay.
and just say, heard of your recent. Oh, I'm gonna say, don't know if you remember me, but I was happy to hear you couldn't go through with it, and am glad you're back in Treladar.
Is this how you get this back? Is this how you torture me now? It's so dark here. Please let me out. Let me out.
God.
Oh God! Oh no!
Jesus fucking Christ.
Is something going on in Treladar? Where are you?
I don't know where I am. Not in Treladar. I think it's so dark. It's been so long. Please help.
I'm going to go home so that I can do this peacefully and not at the courthouse. This was just something that Nimbus was like gonna send and just be like, I'm glad you're doing better. Like, I'm glad you got out of this. Because they were in class together.
Yeah.
Now she's gonna go home and I think I'm gonna have to do that discern location spell.
You cast it. They are underneath the Conservatory of Adventure and Arts. In a hidden room behind a bookcase just outside of Chip's office.
Oh no!
Will, do my scrying sensors go off?
Technically, for this spell, they do not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
that spell
enough.
gets
Not
around
scrying.
it. But yes, McKenna, I did have Matt make me a secret society check to see how well they forged the court documents.
I had a feeling you weren't just typing in
Yeah.
character. Oh, fuck.
Well, we're already 4 minutes over.
Yep.
So I'm going to give McKenna the week to figure out what she wants to do here.
Yeah.
And yeah, join us next week as our party plans on how they're going to kill a god. They have a number of options available to them. I'm curious as to which ones they will pursue. We'll have to have like a discussion and a meeting about it in character. And maybe we might have to deal with Chip.
Maybe.
I'm gonna spend a week building a trap room.
God.
So, thank you everyone so much for coming to tonight's episode of League of Amazing Adventurers. Join us next week for Chip's Folly, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.